So at this point in the game, we're just going to want to go ahead and just keep scouting and trying to find worlds that are going to be favorable to our species. So we want continental worlds. The more worlds we have, the more resources we can produce.
Situation log has been updated.
So sometimes you'll get these random events, which, you know, if you hover over carry on, it tells you what's going to happen. So in this case, looks like moving island modifier is added, which gives us 10% less housing, but 15% more society research. It's kind of a trade-off. Sometimes they could be good, sometimes they could be bad, sometimes they could be a mixture like this one. It just randomly happens, so you have to kind of accept it, and these are like the curveballs that the game throws at you. Keep on moving forward, and so looking here, our construction ship is idle right now. I would like to claim this one just because it has an archaeology site, so a good idea would probably be making our way to the must system. I think it says, or Murust. So I'm going to go ahead and build one here, and then eventually build another one there. So let's see what our next tradition is. So something that would benefit us now is probably less starbase upkeep, just because that affects our energy credits. But this will also come in handy too, because the more we expand out, our empire size is dictated by, as you can see, how many districts we have, how many systems we have, how many colonies, how many population. So once this gets over 100, and you can see when empire size is at or below 100, no other costs are being modified. Empire size has a minimum value of 50. So once you go over 100, that's when you start getting negative effects, I believe, to your energy credits. So we'll eventually want to get that one, but for now, let's go ahead and get this one. Because just in 56 months, we'll be able to get that one, and we should be good. So another thing we could do, and it's, you know, it's going to start draining our unity if we do it anymore, is get another science ship. But the question is, do we want to do that? See here, it's just our campaign for new presidents on the long way. You can increase support, but it'd cost unity. It's up to you if you prefer, you know, voting in for a new candidate. Maybe, you know, you're not appreciating the current president, or, you know, the incumbent, and you want someone else who can take over. So this person, yeah, so we don't have enough unity to increase support, but they have the perfectionist, which is the science ships affect 10% an anomaly discovery. You can also hover over and see like what is affecting the support. It looks like empire ethic, counselor, traits, and skills. So you can see here that there is no progress bars. Usually if there's a progress bar, it means something is being done. Since construction is done, let's go ahead and queue up some buildings.
Anomalous readings registered.
And then we can also queue up building a starbase just by, you know, doing that shift click stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. For here, let's go ahead and build that hollow theater. And then we don't have enough minerals, so we need to get more minerals. Eventually need to get more minerals, but that's all we can do for now. But you can see now there is a progress bar, and we always want to see, you know, at least something happening on our planets. You know, if you have enough, you know, make sure to spread out the work across all planets. We can't do anything here because everything's pretty much maxed. You know, there's not much we can do. Maybe looks like we can actually start doing clearing some blockers. So let's go ahead. So you can clear the blocker.
System
you hover over.
survey
You can see how much it's going to cost, 300, and what it's creating one population. So that's a really good deal. So it looks like Dolores was voted in again. Perfect. This one here costs 300 energy, but it adds 3 agricultural districts. Pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do that. This one, same thing, adds 2 generational, or 2 generation districts. So let's go ahead and do that. And the rest, you can kind of just see like the features, but it's pretty cool. So at least we're doing something on Earth now. We might be able to do something
Locker
here.
cleared.
So you can see we do have some blocks, but we can't clear them because it says missing technology, planetary resurfacing. So we can't do anything until we get those techs
System
researched.
survey concluded.
So we did get a notification about update on our archaeology site. So let's go ahead and click this. And it looks like the ruin shows no signs of damage beyond neglect. Cool, investigate. So we got 30 minor artifacts. These artifacts can be used for certain things, like so say if we go to Earth and then decisions, you could, send artifacts to museum to gain. So now we got factions. You can see how many pop-ups happen so quickly. So this one's kind of like what do you want to do in this case? Do you want to stop digging, or do you want to grant additional funding to dig deeper? I always kind of like to bet and see like what happens if I do give them, the additional funds with, something better happen. It's kind of a gamble. It might turn out better, it might turn out worse, it might turn out nothing. So I like to run the risk and go ahead and spend the money. But you can see this is where you can kind of use artifacts. You can also use artifacts, I believe under, where is it? Not this one. Is it? Maybe this one? No. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, no, wrong one again. There's one of these that, is it discoveries maybe? Yeah, discoveries. You can use minor artifacts here too, but we don't have enough for any of them. So that's what minor artifacts are used for. So this is another question, like what would you rather have? Would you rather have, the immediate modifiers, or do you want to investigate it a bit more? So I always like to investigate it a bit more. And you can see that it said situation log updated, so you can research this now and then see what happens. So go ahead and research it. I think it stops your current research on one of them. So it's asking again, do we want to keep going? So they did find a little bit more. They found 15% more minerals and 4 mining districts, but it's possible there could be more. So we'd have to spend a lot of energy credits, so might as well do it. We have enough. I like to see what happens, but the game could also punish you for being too greedy.
Blocker cleared.
And something negative could happen. So you never know. Looks like this is built, so let's go ahead and build. So now we have factions, as it said before, and the factions are formed from, within existing social structures, as you can see here. Ideally, you want something aligned with what you are doing. So say if you are technocracy, you want a faction that's going to support technocracy. So too little too deep. Looks like we found ore-rich caverns, which added +2 to the districts, and then another exceptional quality miners or minerals, and that gives us 25% +8 mining districts. Pretty cool. So you can see here, this all of a sudden shifted into a massive mining planet, which, our other planets, or at least this one, is already a good city or industrial, but we don't have a good mining planet. So this, this is going to be really beneficial to us because we get 25% more minerals from mineral jobs. So that's another thing you want to kind of think about, is how do you want to start specializing your planets. The first few planets I like to kind of equal out, like how I did your empire capital, but there would be certain cases where it just makes sense to go ahead and specialize a planet based off what you're getting. And right here, this is telling us this is going to be a good mineral planet. So what I would want to do is I want to start building mineral districts, because I want to start mining more minerals. More minerals, the more things we could build, so on and so on. But we also need another city district, and we need another city district so we can unlock a building slot and for more housing. So we can't build it just yet because we're lacking the minerals, but that's the whole reason why we're building this too. So looks like looks like another quest line is starting.
Situation log has been updated.
And we also have this archaeological
System
site
survey concluded.
occurring, so go ahead and probe the crystal. Boom.
System survey
So the
concluded.
difficulties now too, our person has, let's see, I think we could see, they have a +1, but they have a skill bonus. So as long as our skill is higher than or equal to the difficulty, should be good. That's how I see it. Evading hostiles, so it looks like we found something hostile here. Occupation flotilla, that's something we don't want to run into. So once they run into a hostile force, they stop, so we have to start them up again. There's something to keep in mind. If you ever run into hostile forces, they're gonna run away and then stop, so you always want to make sure they're moving. Let's choose our next tradition. Boom. And once you do 5 tradition, or once you complete a whole tradition, like a tree of a tradition, you get an Ascension perk. And so there's a lot of Ascension perks you can choose from. You can scroll through and read them all. But the best one, in my opinion, is Technological Ascendancy, just because it gives 10% research speed, and you have a higher chance at rare technologies.
Research concluded.
So I'm gonna go ahead and choose that one. The next one, will kind of be the more off the not to say off the traditional path, but more so could be more up for discussion, should I say. So I'm going ahead and just choose better research speed. So boom. Same thing for this one. Let's see what we have. I want to make sure my workers are outputting a good amount of resources, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that. And as you notice, we haven't really touched military. We haven't, aside from our small little fleet, we don't really have much military. And, yeah, this thing has 9K and we're looking at, 163. It would, well, obviously we'd get smashed, but I think this thing doesn't really move. So unless something's coming in and starting to take over your stuff, I wouldn't stress about building a military. Especially since if you control choke points like this, all of these choke points, if they get past the choke point, that's when you have to start worrying. So that was quick. The archaeological site is finished, so let's see what happens. Zeroni, press OK. So it looks like we got psionic theory, and we also got some more minor artifacts. So this person is done. There is another archaeological site that we could do, and I think I am going to do it because I like to research the archaeological sites early because they can actually provide really good boons. Really good boons. So the council will actually, let's go ahead and do the technology first. So go ahead and research new technology. This one's going to stay relevant for a while, but all it does is provide 10% enterprise size from POPs, but I also do believe that it's going to unlock some greater things later on. As you can see, the psionic path, this will lead to further advancements into psionics.
System survey concluded.
Let's go ahead. It's a huge research. It's going to take us 146 months, but I think starting it this early is going to be pretty cool. So let's see if that leads down to something. Let's go ahead and close that. Go ahead and choose the cancel agenda, press launch, and then let's start the new one. So now that we have factions, I think this one's a good one to start. So go ahead and start the next one, which is give and take, which affects our factions in a positive way. It looks like it would attract the more positive factions. There could be negative factions. You can have negative factions, and you don't want those. So now let's start the next
System survey concluded.
The next tradition, in my opinion, after expansion, discovery. Discovery is a pretty good one. We can discover things, research things, and scout things faster in general. I think that's what I believe the general idea of it is. And just you always kind of want to look at your situation log to kind of remind yourself like what's going on. Let's go ahead and do that just to kind of see. This is, you can see it says it's going to stop any research that you have going on right now in the society, but this will help push forward this quest line. So that's another archaeological site we want to get to. So we want to probably get our construction ship over there to start building over there. But we should also build an outpost here just to control this choke point. That's a really important place. So we always want to control choke points, so that way no one can come in and control this choke point that's blocking you from
System
your
survey
areas.
concluded.
So we have a few minerals now, so let's see if there's anything else we can build that would be beneficial right now. So it looks like we're good in both consumer goods and alloys. I prefer to build these on all my planets just because they're pretty good. But I think right now what we're going to do is we're going to build an industrial district here. So you can see we unlocked more districts now. One thing we could build is probably another city district to unlock a building slot and for more housing too. And you can see we have 7 housing space, so we're good on housing, but it's more so for the building slot. And then for the colony, let's go ahead and build another mining district. Well, actually, we should probably build a city district just for housing because we only got 1 space left. So let's go ahead and do that and then build another mining district. So we always want to make sure our planets are doing something if they can. You know, you don't want to artificially make them do something just to do something, but you want to make sure you're utilizing them as much as you can. And something we could do, you know, after this thing can be elevated, I believe you can elevate it to planetary administration just by hovering over this like little up sign, or this, you know, upward sign, and see that the number of sapient pops is greater than or equal to 10. Once we can do that, then we can, I believe we can designate the planet to, well, looks like we can already do that. So let's see what the planet, it looks like it's being automatically designated. So the mining district build speed is 25%, and the miners and strategic source gather output is 25%. That's probably what we want, and it's, you know, it's good that the auto designate is going to that. But let's see if there's anything else that it might be. So I'm not seeing one that it could be that'd be better on. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick to miner, and I want to select it now because I don't want the auto to all of a sudden change for whatever reason, and then that's not what completed. So it looks like we got we're holding this checkpoint, so we'll go ahead and this would be a good spot to build a to upgrade our starport to something better. So it looks like we got a new archaeological site event pending, so let's go ahead and click that and see what's happening. Looks like we just got some minor artifacts. This is just meant for like the lore of like what's happening behind the archaeological site as you progress on it. But for the main thing, you could just hover over this and see what you get. 10 minor artifacts, great. Keep going. So it looks like our difficulty is still 2, and our skill bonus is 3. So, like I said, we want to be at or greater than or equal to the difficulty on our skill bonus. So we have a 3, and this is a 2. So we'll keep going. If it gets to be a 4, I don't want to miss out on any really good relics. So I would stop the archaeological dig at that point. So we'll see if it gets to 4. If it does, then we'll stop it. We just got some more things that are just kind of informational, like we found an anomaly and, you know, a system was surveyed. So like I said, just a lot of informational pop-ups and notifications.
Construction completed.
I would say probably 25% of them like actually require action. So let's see. It's possible you can think about this for a sec. I want to determine what tradition I want to go for next. Let's see, research alternatives or survey speed. I think I want to survey faster. So let's get to boldly go. It's a cool reference like that. Close that out. Looks like we got another first contact. So let's go ahead and click that. First contact. Just assign a random person. So that way we can get that going. Close out. Then we're going to do our physics research because it finished up. So we can see here, we could choose a few things. We got a military application. We have a new building and a new edict. Both of those can be good, but this I think is probably the best just because it gives a flat bonus to energy credit production. So let's go ahead and do that. Can't go wrong with more energy credits. That means we can build more ships, build more items. You know, we could basically build all these things. We could build ships, stations, or star bases, buildings, and districts, because all of those take energy. So it looks like our worlds are kind of idling right now. We are on a decent monthly gain. Could be higher, but let's go ahead and keep pushing it forward. So let's see if there's anything that we should build right now.
System survey concluded.
We're looking pretty good on our alloys and consumer goods. Housing's good. We have a bit of crime, so maybe. Let's see. This does produce unity, so this is unity producing building. So is this. Both of these produce unity, but the interesting thing about this one is that there's a planet limit of 1. And usually when you're like limited on something, usually means it's a good thing. So I'm almost inclined to do this one just because it looks like it would be beneficial. So, and you can see the things that it provides. It looks like it, 2 unity. What is that thing?
System survey concluded.
I don't know exactly what that 5% is. It looks like a bonus to unity, maybe based off the description, and then culture worker jobs. I think that's the +2 there. So that's what it must be. So it's not a bad thing to choose, but we also want to round out our districts a bit. So I know food is going to start becoming an issue. So I'm just going to go ahead and start building, a bit of food here and there. Same thing for this one. Probably build a food one here. And let's see. Let's go ahead and build a food one here. So let's see how the archaeology is coming. 50 minor artifacts. Awesome. Okay, so you can see that, yes, our scientist skill went up to 4. But, or it might have already been 4. But the difficulty is now 5. So I'm actually going to pull this scientist off, because I don't want to risk anything bad happening to the archaeology site. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can level him up. So if he levels up, if this person levels up, then his archaeology skill will go up. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get him to a higher level, and then come back once he ranks up. So looking at this, we have, 2 of these are military applications. One of these is kind of industrial / civilian. So I'm going to choose this one, just because don't really have any use for military right now. And if we were threatened by a nearby civilization, we could simply just turtle up and build star bases, or upgrade our
survey concluded.
These star holds. Just upgrade the star holds with adding defenses and all that other good stuff. So you don't necessarily have to focus too much on military this early on, because unless you're running into someone who's really advanced, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
System survey concluded.
So this one's saying they found a gateway An abandoned gateway. It looks to be some sort of ancient gateway. Looks like it can be restored into working order, and then we can access other parts of the galaxy. So go ahead, press OK. So it looks like they found some sort of, let's see.
We have detected
That looks
an
like a
anomaly.
shroud witch. Dang, that's really cool. Look at that planet. That's a crazy looking planet.
We
So I
have
don't know if that was the,
encountered spaceborne life forms.
looks like we got another. So go ahead and assign someone real quick. There we go. So I don't know if that was the, oh, here it is. This is the gateway over here. So it was over here. So this is the gateway. It's a disabled gateway, but requires activation by upgrading the gateway, requires gateway activation technology. So we can't even do anything with it. So I wouldn't even worry about it. It's just something that, you know, could take you somewhere pretty cool. Fascinating. First contact advances. Very nice. So let's go ahead and build another mining. Let us go ahead and build, yeah, let's go ahead and build one of these to get our Unity up higher. More Unity is better, right? Same thing for this. Let's go ahead and get our Unity up. So it looks like
System survey concluded.
this person is not doing anything, so let's automate it because they ran into alien vessels. So it looks like we don't have much here, so let's go ahead and I would like to take this one because this is also a
System survey concluded.
and then probably that too because I want that archaeology site. But if my hunch is correct, there might be an alien civilization over here. I just don't see if there actually is one yet. It might be just, let's see. So I didn't see anything there, so I'm wondering which way would be the better way to build and start claiming. Probably gonna go, you know, now that I think about it, let's go ahead and start taking this and work our way to here. So that way we can take this whole area. Yeah, so it looks like there is an alien civilization just based off the fact that there is something right here. So we need to start racing over here. There's a wormhole. So that's kind of similar to a gateway. So we can stabilize a wormhole, we can travel through it. Same thing with gateways. So looks like we have another thing. This increases our research, so let's go ahead and do that. That's always good. And then let's assign our last envoy to start
The special project has concluded.
finding out who they are. Special project complete, I think? Yeah. The estimated time until our next NEMA should be about 10 years. Okay, cool. Renema. This person stopped because they ran into hostile forces. First contact proceeds, advances. Okay, nice. Looks like they stopped. Keep going.